Alright guys, so I think my voice hurts a little bit, but today I'm rambling so I can continue to talk about something important. And in this instance, something important is hylics. So I've been trying to write this video essay for this game called Hylics for ages now, right? The issue is sometimes I get started writing and then I get too locked up in the mechanics of it all, but I think this workflow is very, very good. It's basically how I wrote my last couple of essays, and I realized that like it doesn't matter how much you do per se, as much as it matters about the quality of your work. Maybe I got that wrong. Anyway, so I have the plan and the layout for all of my hylics related stuff. The TLDR is that the game is an indie game, 2015, very niche. I want more people to play it, so I'm making this video. I think it's got a very unique art style. It's an interactive experience unlike anything I've ever seen. Yeah. That being said, what else is that? I split it up into like 3 main body paragraphs, but I'm only really on the first one because I'm trying to practice a new scripting format, one that like makes my scripts look like traditional scripts, so that way I could like send it over and have editing cues. Before I previously wrote in like dot points, which reflected my, oh my god bro, my unorthodox speech pattern. I think that was really nice. What's that unorthodox? I just mean my normal monologuing habit. Yeah, so I just want to feel productive because I haven't really done anything while sick. Anyway, bro, can you please move out of the way? Please, what is wrong with you? Are you like looking up a jumping tutorial? I hate being the only good person in this game and everyone else is bad at it except for me. I'm like, is there some like secret thingy over there I'm missing? Okay. Okay. So the first thing was about this absurdist and psychedelic theme that encompasses the whole game. I really talk about the setting, the value of the setting, and some of the music. I talk about it first because it's usually the most confronting aspect of the game, and I feel like this style that will attract most people. Next, I talk about the biopunk and post-future themes. This is the part where I'm actually going to start like extrapolating my thoughts. Or something. Oh, I feel so bad. Yeah, so what is this? Yeah, so this is just straight up the normal house. Like there isn't anything to it. It's just, I wonder. So biopunk refers to a division of punk culture, but not punk as in the music, because punk itself originated within like the 80s or something like that, or like 60s. It's a movement that originated somewhere in Britain in the mid-century in response to authoritarianism. When I say authoritarianism, I don't mean like, oh, like regimes and stuff like that. It's really just a movement about individuality, and it's it's a form of rebellion against something. It's what I imagine anarchy is, but I don't really have that much of a handle on anarchy. Um, yeah. So biopunk, there are other like punk cultures in the sense that it's a blend of sci-fi concepts and anti like a counterculture theme. So another example is steampunk, which is a type of punk that's like reject industrial that's about environmentalism. You know, the big steam design is supposed to be more ecologically friendly. It's frequently paired with like mystical creatures, magics, etc. It's really interesting. Can you please get out of the way, bro? Thank you. Oh my god, I would so grief everyone. What was that? A VSync issue. Oh, what else was there? What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Okay. What is this? Well, I need to sleep. Okay. So now that we can split the definition of punk from that, we can draw similarities from Basquiat, who's very postmodernist. His art is a form of punk in that it's a rebellion against something. I can't remember what it was a rebellion against. He was I'm pretty sure he was black, and he used to live in New York. So they used to have like shitty police officers and all that stuff. New York being an urban area was, I don't know, lots of drugs, crimes, etc., etc. But the point is, Basquiat's work has a very similar idea of looking all bizarre. But when you peek at it, like it uses very similar to colors, lines, etc. than like hylics. Much like hylics is a blending of the medium. Of course, that links more into psychedelic themes, but it really does prove that biopunk culture, or punk culture to an extent, has, you know, has roots. Hylics has roots in punk culture. Biopunk is a division of punk culture that's like a rebellion against biology. Now, this is just me doing the curtains are blue to represent sadness moment. But in the 2010s, well, particularly in the 2000s, when I think Mason Lindroth would have grown up, because I'm pretty sure he's American, there was a huge debate over cloning and religion, like, oh, can human souls be replicated and all that stuff, which I find is really interesting. But my personal take on this is that hylics imagines a world where biology is just another system, is just another thing we can engineer over capitalism. Now, biology is already something that we change a lot. Like, we talk about it in form of, like, I don't know, current discourses about genetically modified organisms. You could argue that we've tweaked biology since the beginning of our, like, abandonment of nomad culture. Like, when we first started farming, we realized, hey, if we grow more, you were so annoying, please. When you grow more like big thingies, like corn fruits that have more corn chips on them, they breed with other corn chips and their offspring have more corn chips. You know what I mean? Corn chips. Corn on a cob, that's what I mean. Well, biopunk really just imagines that, but it's of more malicious intent, you know? Instead of like steampunk being a reaction to industrialism, biopunk is a reaction to body horror or capitalism. You'll notice the main character of Hylics is in a way human. I say human because, you know, he's bipedal. He exhibits human characteristics. There's no guarantee that he is human per se, because, you know, and there's no guarantee that other creatures are humans or even of the same genus, because the big thing is that in order for something to be of the same genus, is a genus? They need to be able to reproduce. The same species, they need to be able to reproduce, right? Well, in hylics, instead of producing offspring, that would be a very, very different game. Instead of characters producing offspring, what they do, well, like humans, the main character of hylics can eat, mainly through like a process of, oh my god, bro. Oh. Do I have, I don't have auto shot on, do I? Yeah, my momentum was all off then. Oh, I'm literally the goat. I'm literally the goat. Come on, man. Unlucky. Why couldn't they give us, like, invisibility? Like, maybe this is just, like... Far out! Ay, bro. Okay. Anyway. What I was saying... I need it. The core... Far out. You know what? The core argument I'm trying to make is that hylics is biopunk, but what argument is it making? What culture is it rebelling against? Well, I posited that it stemmed from like human cloning, etc. And my reasoning for this is that in this game, in hylics, it's post-human, in that it takes place in a distant future or reality. What's my proof of this? Well, we could go back to the opening sequence. There are appearances of cars and other vehicles, but there's also the appearance of an archaeologist. He's actually a recruitable NPC. I think his name is Porngorma. So, I've never had to pronounce his names out loud. Basically, he's an archaeologist, and to recruit him, you have to get a paper cup that your character doesn't know how to use at all, right? But paper cups are a very human thing. In order to make paper cups, you need a system of industrialization. You need a supply chain. You need people working to, I don't know, cut down plastic trees and turn them into cups. And then you need like an audience of a base of consumers to buy them. Now, please, come on, man. Please fall. Why do I think that's fantastic? Well, oh, far out. Okay, no, that was my fault. Well, I think that indicates post-human is a genre of sci-fi that imagines a world or a planet or an Earth or a culture of civilization where humanity has existed but no longer does. Hylics, I would say, represents that pretty accurately. Why do I say it represents it accurately? Because we can go to the example of the paper cups, the cars, but most importantly, language. We talked about the importance of random dialogue, or I talked about the importance of random dialogue in my hook, in the opening act, in the introductory paragraph to indicate that the game is random. But I also said that using LiDAR points, we can determine it's random to an extent. Just the existence of this guy having a job, a very human role, not a job that like observes, not a job that serves like an objective purpose, like, you know, a farmer because some animals farm, or a hunter because lots of animals hunt. It's a job that's mostly recreational, and I think really that's a human thing, recreation. Right now, our ability to just, you know, can you please, your skin isn't even properly modeled. You're not wearing the right size skin. That's why the black lines are there. Oh my god, it's so annoying. I'm playing with literal 12-year-olds, these guys are thespians. I don't know what thespians means, but it's a good word to use here. Anyway, I was talking about system capital. Another big thing about indicating it's a post-human society, is also the existence of capital. Money is still a varied operating currency in this game. Like, you can just find stashes of money everywhere. Yeah, the value of money might have shifted, but it's valuable, right? You can still use it to barter for goods. It's almost like we're existing in a world where humans have existed, but are no longer the dominant force. Why would I say no longer the dominant force? Well, I think what exists right now, the bipedal sculptures, everything, could have been human at some point, or could have been, descended from humans, but I don't think they're human anymore. And this links back to the biopunk thing. I think magic does exist in hylics, but whenever you cast a spell, whenever you watch a TV, because TV is another thing, it's essentially dialing up everything to its metaphor. Oh my god. It's like dialing up everything to its metaphorical. Okay, no, we can cut that bit. Okay. Even though you need an archaeologist to use paper cups, you can still use a TV, right? But human characteristics do exist, but under a system of control. What's my reasoning for that? Well, see, I think the second body paragraph, we'll use it to describe this one AFK woman. Oh my god, I'm blaming her. It's literally her fault. I don't get why I can't just respawn up there. Please. What is this guy doing? What are you doing, man? Please. Oh my god. I love being good at this game. I said it. I'm the best. Yeah, you suck. Disgusting creatures. Yes. Okay. The plot about hylics is rebellion. And that's where we get our punk aspect from. We're still rebelling against Thing. In this instance, if we go back to the very start of the game, we're rebelling against Gibby. What is my evidence for Wayne being human? Well, he's a lot of things, not just Wayne, a lot of NPCs, they're capable of communication. Communication does exist in other animals, but notably, we're bipedal. We have, oh my god. We have 2 legs, 2 arms, and standing upright. Even though we're contorting in weird positions, we're still human. What is my further evidence for us being human? Well, even though we don't have human speech, we do have, like, eyes and far out a mouth, a nose, etc. Okay, and I know what you're saying. Chimpanzees share all of these things with us. Well, in hylics, one of the currencies are meat. Meat is something that every time you die, you can use meat to further modify your body, to build up endurance, to heal wounds. It's like a form of futuristic technology that almost looks like mysticism. It fits very well with the traditional RPG, which either stems from a futuristic world or a magic world, right? Because there's like a mana system and all that. But there's meaning. We are playing in a world that is not more than human, that is after human, that is post-human. What's my third? I don't want to spoil anything more, because there is like a very large world. I only really talked about certain NPCs and characters, but this ability isn't exclusive to us. Every NPC we recruit has a unique feature or an aspect or a history or a dialogue, right? They each reveal something. Oh my god. Please. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Can you... Why? I'm just saying, like the reason why this is difficult is because I reckon I'm pretty decent at Minecraft parkour, albeit a little bit rusty, but I reckon I have the foundational. You disgusting little creature. It's just the no sprint that's really thrown me off. I think one of the best features of the game is the fact that it's hard to explain. Like, I can talk about all these. Okay, no, I don't really remember what my third point was. My third, I think that's the end of that paragraph. Because the title is like the strange philosophy of hylics. To me, it's a hopeful narrative. It's saying that no matter what changes, to an extent, we'll always, have that human compassion. I think that's really nice. I think the third part is really just a summary, in that the game exists at an intersection of many points, much like the characters. It's an evolution of all these different art histories, artists, music, forms, and games. You gotta realize, video games didn't really exist as they do now, let's say 40 years ago. They were still being produced. They were just, consoles were just being released, they were just being produced by companies. 20 years ago, people were able to spread mods, and then 10 years ago, indie games really became popular. Hylics is an example of that, an indie game that's really popular. Not only that, I have heard rumors that you can play Hylics in a museum, just because of all that stuff, and now I'm talking about it on YouTube. I always find this really interesting, that let's say the internet is a tool that exists for all these different reasons, but if you think about it, it's just a web, the World Wide Web. Wait, say that again? No, but it's where we're able to see all these unique divisions and points, and Hylics is one of those things. Through Hylics, we can witness everything. I don't know. Hylics is like the web of the internet, but in a little cotton candy ball, whipped around and absorbed into a unique shape. It's a very nice and clear-cut example of that. A piece of work doesn't just exist on its own, it's a sum of multiple parts. And Hylics is multiple parts. It is. I think it's a game that can only exist. Yeah. And I think maybe that's a core tenet of Hylics, to connect things that otherwise couldn't have been connected or wouldn't have been connected. And in that way, I think it encourages us to create. I can say that one of my other friends. So I'm studying media, film and communication, and one thing I can say is that Hylics is one of those pieces of media that inspire me to do something cool. I have a friend who is really talented in music. He's not just studying music, but he makes money off of an extent to it. One thing I find amazing is that it's not just rich in a game sense, not just rich in a design sense, but it's rich in a musical sense, and that he was fascinated by the story too, and too inspired. And together we're making a Hylics inspired music video, combining our skills together. Oh my god. So I think above all else, that is the strange philosophy of Hylics. I really recommend you play this game. It's a couple of dollars on itch or on Steam. Isn't really that much. I feel like this is really easy. Okay, never mind. What was I saying? My hand's sweaty now. I guess that is most of my essay. Alright. What I'm gonna do is upload this and then use a transcriber on it. You know what's really funny? I'm really good at like I remember I used to be able to do like triple neos or like consecutive neos back to back just without thinking. But this is really fun because it's like the most challenging aspect of my gameplay. Like I'm really bad at slowing down and adjusting angles, and it's just that like change from start to finish. It's so frustrating. But still, a lot of fun. Your skin isn't right too. You are what I call an idiot. Yeah, good. You deserve that because your skin is really bad. Yeah. So I want to get the video out by the end of the week. But if my voice isn't up to it, it'll suck. I can still do the visuals and cut like a rough outline together, which is what I'm gonna do because that's the only thing I can really control at the moment. But it just sucks. Okay, this is being held somewhere in North America. I'm so good at this. Oi! GG.